Hello, everybody, and welcome to my podcast, Fulfillment in Faith. I am your host, Shannan Mondor. Today's episode is a continuation of my series, You Are Not the Only One. I was brought forth to this series because during my healing from my addiction to alcohol, there were so many times that the universe had brought me to silence. And it was during those times is when I learned so many things about myself, and I was guided. I was guided to talk openly about my past, my abuse, my addiction, and to speak my truth. From those moments of silence is when we learn, we grow, and then we teach and we help others. Today, I have a wonderful guest all the way from Sweden, and her name is Susanne. I cannot say this word. Jarlskog.
Yes.
Jarlskog.
Yes.
Okay, and I have to tell the audience this because I was practicing her name earlier. And it's so funny because I have a really hard time wrapping my tongue. So it's Jarlskog. And I said it properly, Susanne. Jarlskog.
This
So
is perfect. Yeah.
thank you. So, I'm just making light of it and having fun. And here's my wonderful guest, Susanne. So, welcome to my podcast. It's an absolute pleasure having you here. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. I'm living in Sweden, in south of Sweden, Malmö, and I live together with my man. I have two children. They grow up and they have own children. So I am a grandma. I have two cute princesses, and I like that, and I love them so much. My family, that is so important for me to meet them and have fun. And and I have a own company. I work with the personal development, and I love that. I love to help people. I am an artist, so I'm painting very beautiful painting in acrylic. And then I work with decoration and design, home designer. So I work with little of everything, but the first are that I work with the personal development is coach mentor. I want to people know they have so much more inside themselves. So I want they start to love themselves and respect themselves and everything like that. So that's what I work with. And I love my life. My life have been very tough sometimes in period in my life, and especially when I was very young. And I don't know, do you want to telling
Yeah,
about that?
yeah. If you want to get into your story of what brought you, to your stillness, and your silence, and what you really learned during that point
Yeah.
of time, and yeah, that would be wonderful if you could start to share your story. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I can start the story for I am we are four sisters and brothers, and my parents was very very young. They was child when they get his own child, and my father was a boar child from Finland, and when he grew up and he don't feel so good, and they fight all the time, and my father and mother, they should not have children. They have four children when they was very very young, and I was the third child, and that was not so easy. My mother don't want to have me. She want to do what you call um, what you say when she want to abort.
Oh, she wanted an abortion.
Yes, she want to do
Oh, okay,
intervention.
okay.
Yes.
Oh,
And but they say no, you are young and you must have this child. And she was very happy when I coming, for I was so laughing, and I was a little funny little girl. She said to me, she's so happy she don't do that. But my parents is they always fight. They always have problem, and we was poor. We don't have so much money, and they have very tough time. And then when we grew up, and my mother moved to Stockholm to be an opera singer, And my father, we living in another place, and we moved to Stockholm and living there. And my father's and my mother's fight a lot. And some days my parents, it was not so easy to them to live it together. So one day we go into a foster home, and my mother's run away from my father, and she don't want to live together with him anymore. She was scared for him. So he take my brothers, we was very small, take out sorry, sometimes that is not so easy with my English.
Yeah, no,
So
no, it's okay. You just take your time.
he picked us up from this place, from the foster home, and have us, like, take us, and we do many things on our mother, and he want to, we go to say to her, mother, come home, and knock the door and want to. So my mother was very scared. She don't want to open the door, but he have us, like, he want to try to get her home to him.
Can I ask you something? So who
Yeah.
took you children to the foster home? Was it your mother? So your mother didn't want to be with your father anymore. So did she take you to the foster home?
No, there was my big sisters. He was so tired about my parents.
Okay.
So she go to social
Oh, so your
people.
sisters, your older sister went
Yes,
to the
they
social
say my
worker.
parents is not take care with us, so they come to pick us up and
Okay.
get them to three different home for us four.
Oh, okay. Well, that took a lot of courage for your older sister to do that.
Yeah, she was so
Wow.
tired for she always was babysitter to us, and she
Okay.
was so tired to nobody care about us, and my parents have so much problems, so. And the fight that my sisters, now we must stop this, and
How old would your older sister have been when she took action?
14, 15 years old only. She
Okay.
was just maybe around that, yeah.
Yeah. You kind of look at that and you think, it's very sad that she had to do that, but at the same time, very courageous too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
She
not an
was,
easy thing to do, but she wanted
yeah,
all the fighting to stop.
yeah,
Hmm.
she was so tired about this terrible life we have, and we don't have money. It was so poor, and the screaming, and the throw away things around us, and there was rape, and there was everything in this family.
Oh my
So
goodness.
so when he picked us, this me and my little brother, we was very small, and he used us to get my mother home, but he could not. She listened to us, she hear us. She was sitting there and crying in this apartment, and he knows she's babies are in another side with the door.
Mhm.
And it was terrible for her. It was terrible. And my father she understands, she don't coming. So he want to rape her. He want to, I was going to say, sorry, I was thinking.
That's okay. It's okay.
He don't want to live anymore.
Right. Oh, so
When
she wants to end her life.
yeah, so he
Okay.
came us to the apartment when he lived with
Right.
us, and an ambulance coming to pick him up, for he tried to kill himself. So
Okay. So your dad
yeah,
tried to
so he was this little small child is standing there, and was neighbors come to take care with us when he go to hospital.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so there was not so easy. And then my father start later to drink alcohol.
Do you
Alcoholic.
think
She
do you
was
think
alcoholic after that.
do you think looking back at your father, because he was in the war, that he had a lot of PTSD, that he had a lot of mental issues because of the war?
I think that for he coming to Sweden, there was three brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and he was the youngest. he was 3 years old. He's coming to Sweden with the, paper around his neck,
Okay.
and he don't understand Swedish,
Okay.
and these three brothers is not coming to same home, so they
Oh,
put him in different home too.
so he was abandoned as well.
Yeah, so he was alone in this new
Yeah,
home, and he don't understand this new Swedish family.
right.
And so that was terrible for him to, is his even his brothers living very near, but there was a little concurrence between these families. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So
So what happened with him just trickled into your family.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's.
that's
I'm
sad.
thinking I think his self-confidence was not good. I
Right.
don't think I don't thinking he's love himself, and I
Yeah.
think maybe he's thinking is somebody's leave him all the time, and I think that's why my parents fight a lot. For
Mm-hmm.
he was not he don't feel good.
Right.
His self-confidence was so badly,
Mm-hmm.
so I think like that's why he was very nervous to my mother going to leave him, and
Mm-hmm.
he leave him for he was nervous, and they
Yeah.
were always right. So that was not good beginning for him, and
No.
that's stupid for the war. They promise this child is coming to Sweden, they should have help for they could go back to that home in
Yeah.
Finland.
Yeah. They should have been kept together. If
Yeah,
anything, boys should have been
yeah,
kept together.
there was the meaning for they go to do that, but I can say when they go with him to Finland,
Mm-hmm.
back to his parents, his father was very sick, and they was very poor. So he go back to Sweden and living together with his Swedish family. For they don't have food, and they rent out most of this house when they're living, and they have foster kids too.
Yeah.
His real family, for they was so tough in Finland. And so he don't feel he want to live there, for they was poor, but not in Sweden. Swedish family was not that. And but his self-confidence was so, yeah, he must be very sad inside here.
Mm-hmm. And then you said he started drinking after he tried to commit suicide.
Yeah, after we go, after when every time he meet a new woman, he send us away to new foster home. So the woman was more important in him and us.
And where was your mother at this time? She had
Yeah,
totally
but
abandoned you
yeah,
guys?
but
She
yeah,
abandoned you guys
no,
completely
no.
then? No?
The problem with the Swiss Swedish system with this time, there was my mother should have us when they have this fight in this, but my father was very he could talk, and my mother's show feelings, and they're thinking, okay, he talk better, he get us.
Oh, so he
And
he
for his mother,
they
so
thought
he
he was
could.
more of the stable parent.
Exactly. They're thinking that, but
Right.
he won't only do that for hit my mother. So my mother is see his my mother is not feel good for that. So
Okay.
my mother was so sad for his so my father sent us away, and especially my little brother. He going 9 times to foster home.
Oh my
I
goodness.
was there a couple of times, and it was not fun. For every time he meets somebody, he choose the woman.
So that's so sad. You grew up in a household that you were only around at a convenience. And then just as soon as another woman came into his life, he would toss all you children away back into the foster system so he could
Yeah,
live his life, have a great time. And then
yeah,
when the relationship end, then he would bring you guys back as a convenience.
yeah,
That's really sad. And I'm sorry that that happened. I'm so
yeah. And then that's the problem was uh, my little brother's foster home want to adoption to my little brother, and
sorry.
my mother and my father say no, for he don't he want to have money. He want to have
Oh,
money
yeah,
for the system. The social system give
yeah,
him money.
yeah,
And if he adopt him, he don't have that every month.
right.
And my
Yeah.
mother saw everything. She could not do something. He's talked to them and say, "Do you see what he do with the children? He
Hmm.
send them away all the time."
Hmm.
But they don't. Yeah, you cannot say something about that. You must accept that. This is he. You have. Yeah.
That's so
So
sad.
so they was so super. My mother don't feel so good, of course. So there was so much fight, and even my father meet a new woman, and they want to have me for take care with their children, so they
Okay.
can call them. They can call in school and say I must come home for
Hmm.
take care with the children for going out to shopping.
Oh, so you were just a convenient babysitter.
Yeah, I was like a Cinderella.
I was gonna say, yeah, you would have been a convenient babysitter, house cleaner, you would have been a cook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also and often I could hear, "You don't do something about here at home. You don't help." I hear that often.
Mm-hmm.
And I do everything for they going to be happy. And I don't. They even they call me, you know, or even I was in the school. They could call in the school and say I must come home, and they don't know what I do at home. Yes, I come home for they want to go out to shopping, and I take care with the children, and instead for take care with my school.
Mm-hmm.
So that was not fun. That was
No,
terrible.
so yeah, that's that. Yeah. So where did that take you into your later years in life then?
Later, when I move when I move from my own to my own home. Do you mean that?
Yeah, when you grew up, how did
And
that affect?
when I grew up, that many people is like they see me. I was very happy person. I always thinking positive, positive, and I thinking I'm here and now, and I have a lot of things in front of me and here. So I born with the perfect. I was so strong with this. I was so strong and happy and could see and help other people when I grew up. I
Mhm,
could understand other people. I
mhm,
always help people is having more difficult. I want to help them. I don't understand why are so mean.
mhm.
So I often thinking when people is in school, people is was not kind with other people. I said, "Do you know this person?" "No, but why are you so mean to this very fantastic person?" I always be there. I protect other, and even I don't feel good. I do that. So I thinking it was my mission. So I want to help people always. And then I study when I don't. I was very young. I was 16 years old. I want to. I don't want to live anymore. And I hear a voice, and I'm thinking there was so terrible voice. There was so like I have, devil in my inside me. I was so something is talking to me.
So
So that
what
happened when I was 16 years old.
so what happened when you were 16 that made you obviously were triggered into a deep depression or some sort at 16 years
So
old.
like that, I feel is nobody listen to me, and I thinking that I was younger, around 10 and up. I thinking nobody listened to me,
Okay.
nobody, and I it was so terrible this voice, and I thinking no, I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to listen to this. For they want I do something terrible, but I never do that. Then after half years or 1 year, they disappear this voice. Thank you,
Okay.
but it was so terrible. And then when I living at home with this time, then I move out. I feel much better. But I need to tell me about to my father's woman to tell her how I feel under this time I living together with them. For she saw I don't feel good. So I tell her, yes, I feel like this. You don't, listen to me. And nobody, yeah. She get everything in her knee, and she get headache and everything like that. She don't understand she have done that with me. She don't like girls, this woman. They thinking I was weak, for I show feelings. I was sad. I don't want to. I never be angry. I cannot be angry, but I could be sad. And she don't like weak person, special girls. She have one girls from other relationships. She was more kind with her, but I was not her kids. And my father is not be there for us. She
Right.
was very scared for lose this new family. So her babies, children, was more important what I was and my brothers to him. So it was second hand children who was not important. And that they always fight with my mother, always. So if I go to meet her, they fight with her and say mean things to her. So I have a period. I don't have contact with my mother, for I don't want to have this fight. That was terrible. It was not so fun to listen to this fight. I was so tired. So when I grew up, I was so sensitive to higher voice. People have mean voice. I don't understand people fight for small things. I don't understand that. I never do that even now. I'm thinking why people fight for small things. I am allergic with that. I think that is so. So, when I grow up and move at home and tell her what I feelings and what's happened, and I thinking when I was very young, when I looking at the heaven, and I often when I was sad, I go into the wood, church, or something like that. When I'm looking at heaven, thinking, if universe is so big, I can do everything for. I was so little, so everything is mine. I could do so many things. I think in that when I was very young, and yeah, so my life started very tough, but I'm so happy. For now, I can be very grateful for everything what's happened. For if I don't have this, story, I cannot. Be that person I am today. And
Yeah.
I can understand other people, and I really help. And what I understand, we are so fantastic.
You know what I like about your story, Susanne, is, you being in and out of foster homes. You grew up in a family that was fighting. The parents did not get along at all. And through all of that, yeah, you had your turmoil, but you you always were so happy. You could still see the goodness in everything, and you never stopped, because most people would turn the opposite way. Because I know that's what happened to me. I turned the opposite way. I became very bitter and very resentful, where you didn't. So
No,
that's definitely where your strength is. Absolutely. So during your time of stillness, that was when you found gratitude the most, and you looked to the universe for it, and you looked within you. So that is a beautiful, beautiful thing for people to hear. Because that's a reminder, no matter what happens out there, look within yourself and have gratitude no matter what, because there's always going to be a sunny side of life. And you telling your story is the sunny side of life. Good for you.
yeah, I'm so grateful for the life, and I must tell you, everyone, is one night I go to bed and I could not sleep. That was for 1 or 2 months ago, and I'm thinking now I go into looking at my life, even what that's life it was not good or problematic or something like that, and that is was good things too, and the
Mhm.
good things too. And I could see in everything I was grateful for my life. even for my parents, even for the fight, even for, yeah, everything. I could see, okay, they don't fight, what can I learn about that? I could find something positive with that too.
Yeah, you turn things into a learning lesson.
Yeah, I think that is good. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, for you have more on one side for everything. So
Yeah.
if you are grateful and you stand and listen inside you, and you're thinking, okay, now I'm going to find the best of everything. You can be grateful for everything, even what's happened with
Do you,
yourself.
do you think that you were always like that you could be grateful no matter what, even at a young age? Or do you think that that came more into your later years in life?
I don't know, for I know people always say when I was very young, I was always happy. Even the teacher in the school, they know I have problem in my home. And they say when they meet me and they're talking about me and they say, that is very where Susanne is always happy. And
Mhm.
I'm thinking that is more, and I'm thinking, yeah, why not? Of course. I
Mm.
have very easy to laughing. And I was very, I don't know what's the name in English is, I was more, yes, I can handle that. I can do this. And
Well, you were very determined.
everything is possible.
Yeah,
Everything,
that would mean like determined, and you were confident,
yeah,
and that, yes,
confidence, yes.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. Through your whole process, like your whole experience of your growing up and then going into your teenage years and adulthood, now looking back at all those experiences, what is it that you feel that you learned the most out of all of that?
Yeah, what I learned that is people must know each other before they have children. That was, I thinking they must really take thinking what we do. Did I know myself? Um, did I really know myself before I had the babies? Did I really know myself, my partner, and respect him? Can you communication with him or her? Can you really, really feel and understand and accept that? For when you have children, for I'm always thinking about the child, how they have. I am very sensitive that some child crying, and this my heart is very broken for I think when I hear that, for even they are very tired, but I am very sensitive about children, for I want they live and be that fantastic person they come to this world, and they're going to have a fantastic life. But I know it's so many children is not have that, and I know it's many people is this is so easy to be have a babies. It is more easy to get a baby and play golf. And that is terrible, but I say that. But that's why I want people start to know yourself before you have a baby, and understand when you get the baby, you're going to see other sides with yourself you don't know you have. For for that is so many things is coming up when you get the babies.
And a
Many
lot of
things
people,
they're dreaming about the babies. But
yeah,
if you dream about, you must dreaming to know yourself first. As always, I think go back to yourself first. Love yourself and respect yourself and show the babies. And um, you must uh, show them the road,
yes.
the best road you can show them. You're a role model parents. You must show them how the life. And if you don't know that self, how can you show that to the children?
And
You
it is
know,
sad.
for me, that is what I learned. And I want to writing about that. And I'm thinking, start with yourself first.
Right.
always. Okay, now maybe you're thinking I'm hard, but there is so many children have so much problem out
That's
there.
exactly it. And that's the thing that I was going to say is a lot of people will have children because they think that that's what's going to make them happy. Like
Yeah,
even in
exactly.
marriages, right? They're like, well, our marriage is falling apart or our relationship is breaking up here. Maybe if we had a baby, that would bring us together. But no, that only adds on to the problem
That
because
is,
you're not looking at yourself first.
yeah. For I'm thinking I'm going to write a book before I start to writing a book, why you want to have a baby. And I write that for babies, how they thinking and tell the, the parents and they
Oh,
want to
yeah,
be parents. And I say, why you want to have me? Why you, if there are somebody outside you, want you going to have baby? For many people say that is something you must have in your life. For that is very important to have the life is growing in this family, you know. Are these parents want to be grandma and grandpa? Are they for the systems want to go to have a baby?
Mhm.
That is, we must thinking why we want to have a baby and take thinking more and one times before you have a child. That's
So
what I think. That's what I learned under with for what's happened in my life. That is for think first
are you
before
going
for
to
that.
write that book? Are you going to write the book?
I have all right. I'm thinking my in the beginning. I'm thinking I want to write. This is a little, book I want to have for gynecologue place that is young people, women go to,
Because
and
I
I'm
I
thinking it
did.
could be yeah. I'm
Yeah, I
thinking it.
think that's a really good idea. Yeah, from the perspective of the baby. I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, maybe I should write that finish for. I'm thinking, and I write called what it cost the first 18 years before they was young. They cost a lot of money too.
Mhm.
Police don't understand and thinking, okay, they're very easy to have a little cute little baby.
Mhm.
There are so many other things around that. Even I love my children. I can say my child, my own child, I'm thinking I'm going to do nothing about what my parents have done. They was number one for me.
You are not going to follow in their
I,
tracks.
yeah, they're going first for I love them so much, and I divorced from his father. Even I don't want that, but they going always first. They was so important for me. I don't want to go to live same life I have.
Right.
So I have very near contact with my children, and I can say when there's this, you cannot thinking, okay, this is my children. I'm going to have contact with them rest of my life. No, you have only loan. That is only loan. You cannot thinking they want to have contact with you if you don't are good parents for them.
Right.
There's always are is the children. If we love our children, we do everything. We want to do everything. We should want to do that. We want to give them the best to in this life for can live this life we have. But I said you must take answer, also take care with what take think first before you do something for
Is
everything.
is that the advice that you would want others to know?
No, I want to, the best you can do, that is know yourself really in from the beginning and before you have the children and understand you are role model for them. You must show them the road and you must good communication. You must
Communication.
understand and listen to the partner you're living together and you must thinking first why you want to have this baby for they have not used this life.
Mhm.
You must know if you can give them the life you thinking the life should be. For
Mhm.
many people it's not are there. They're thinking that is yeah, you're going to have children. And that's what you say before. You say many get the babies for the relationships going to be a little more rustly. is not
Right.
good.
Yep.
And I'm thinking if I go to, that is, no, don't do that. That is,
Mhm.
many people is divorced when the children is small.
Mhm.
So don't do that. Think first. That's what I want. Think first and know yourself really and love yourself first. So
Mhm.
if you love yourself a lot and know yourself, really know yourself, and you can give so much more to your children or to your partner or somebody else. But you must start with yourself.
Mhm.
Always start with yourself.
So you mentioned earlier that you are a mentor and you are a coach. Uh,
Yes.
so where are you now in your life? Is that what your focus is on, is coaching and helping others and bringing that out in them?
Yeah. That is my first. I work I want to help people to love themselves and know yourself, and that is my, the big heart.
Right.
And then after that, that is I'm artist too, so I'm painting. So I wish I could take my painting and this personal movement, and they can do that together.
Oh,
And
painting in
I'm
person skills.
thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, but I want to do, even if you don't want to painting, your when you start to have a coaching, but that is very, very fantastic when you're painting or working with the colors, and there happens something special in your body. You'll be more Harry Potter, and many things coming out from your body, and you can, get out for different things from yourself.
Well, I
So
look
I
at
want to
painting.
have that together, but not now. I don't have that not now. I want to just now is more I help and talk online.
Mhm.
If I have coaching now, just now I don't have so much for I working have many different. Now I have working in Stockholm and take fix an apartment there,
Mhm.
renovation
Mhm.
and decoration, and I am a home designer. So
Yeah,
I,
like
I have done that too. So
painting.
I love to do so many things, and I think everything is possible. I can try to do many things in my life.
Why not?
I
Why,
want to, yeah.
why
That
not if
is,
you're enjoying it?
yeah. So that is so many things I love to do. So, but I love to help people. I want to people know how fantastic they are and how many things that they can do with yourself, with healing yourself and
Mm.
with your healthy. And what they are thinking, if you really know yourself and love yourself really, and have good relationships with yourself, you can get the best relationships with other, and
Mhm.
you can have this job you want to have. You can have your own this. You can have this money you want to have. Everything is the energy. Is you
Yeah.
coming up, and if they start always with you, you cannot have it. Nothing about. You can have that, but you must work very hard. But you must starting inside you.
Mhm.
Always.
Absolutely.
Everything
Everything
comes
comes
with
from
yourself.
within.
Yeah,
Everything comes from
inside and
within.
out, inside and out, always. Yeah.
Mhm. So, Suzanne, is there any final last words that you would like to say to the audience?
Yeah, they must. Don't take everything outside yourself and listen to that negative around you, and use the people you want to have around you, and be kind with yourself and thinking you are fantastic and you have more potential to give to yourself, and you can. There's so many things is so fantastic outside and waiting for you. So live your life, and live your life now, for the time is very short. It is that what we have is shortest. This is a time, and we cannot lose this time to don't do what we love to do. So they start with you.
And that is true. I look back at my life now and I think of all the times that I should have been celebrating and I wasn't, because I was so worried about everything happening on the outside of me, where I should have been finding the joy in everything within me. So I'm not wasting any time now. So that was excellent advice. So thank you very much. And I want to thank you very much, Susanne, for coming on my podcast, because your words definitely have meant a lot.
Thank you so much, and I could be here.
Yeah,
And
I'm
also
so.
fantastic for me, and I hope my English is enough for.
No, you know what? Your English was
for
great. Your English, yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. And no, you communicated perfectly. So you know, this was amazing. And you got what you wanted to say out. And people will hear you and people will listen to you, because that is so true. Because we don't, when we have children and you know, when we get married, that's just a lot of times it's just taken for granted that that's what we should be doing next. But I like how you brought up how, you know, with this book that you're thinking that you should write, the perspective of the baby, the title, Why Do You Want Me? Because that really does get people to think, why do I want a baby?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and it's just not something that we conform to because we're supposed to. We really need to think about it because there's so much more to look at. And I think your message was very, very important today. So I thank you so much for relating that to everybody. It absolutely enlightened me. So
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you. So in my final closing words, I do want to thank Susanne, of course, for being here. But I also would like anybody that's listening to this podcast to please subscribe and tell your friends about this podcast, because there's so much that we learn with each episode. I invite everybody to go to my website, shannanmondor.com, and check it out and look at my one-on-one coaching and my Fulfillment in Faith program, which is a 6-month personal development program, which will change your life. You will also find on there my podcast link, links to my book, and also to my public speaking. So I want to thank everybody, and I want all of you, especially you, Susanne, to have an absolutely wonderful day.
Thank you so much.
You
Thank
are
you.
so very welcome.